Hi YouTube, Darth here. This is Over Your Shoulder, where I follow unsuspecting players and give what is usually unsolicited advice and commentary. Today's victim is Bopper2010, a level 140 foolish enough to be on my Battlelog friends list. By the looks of things, Bopper plays mostly engineer and recon, and today I'll be following him on a game of Conquest Guilin Peaks. As I follow over Bopper's shoulder today, I'll call out all the good things, bad things, and the things I might do differently. So let's take a look over Bopper's shoulder. Here we go with Bopper2010. See what we got here. Scar H, Tack Light, Angled Grip Cobra, and Compensator. Compensator maybe not necessary on this? We'll see how he uses it. I think I might personally go for a heavy barrel, but Scar H is pretty good with whatever you throw on it. This is a little bit of that hip fire action and gets taken down. Probably right there is why it would have been better to have a laser sight on this instead of the tack light. Tack light really not that blinding unless you're pointing at somebody that has a night sight. Missing that guy on the mini-map. We'll make sure we're checking that while we're taking the point. Give you the first indicator of where the enemies are going to be coming from. This is one of those asshole points where enemies could be coming from just about everywhere. And just catch this guy over, aims a little bit, and gets taken down again. Third time's a charm. M320. Looks like smoke. Not a bad idea. Usually I like to throw smoke on the enemy directly when I see them. That way they actually have to run out of their cover as opposed to me having to kind of guess at where they're looking. Managed to catch one guy here. Let's see if we noticed him. There we are. Misses him by a fair degree. Finally comes up with one. There we go. First blood. You can see that there's at least a squad's worth of enemies here on Charlie. I'd probably not be doing Dusty-Do around here, but I'd probably be trying to find a way up and around onto Charlie. Taking a look around here, throw some health. I'd probably expect the spawns to come from, yep, that direction. Caught one. Spotted him for friendlies. Got nothing to pick yourself up here. Time to throw some health down. Gets almost taken out there. Does a kit swap with somebody? Yeah, that's what it looks like we got. What are we rocking now? Switch for the other Scar. Not quite going to catch these guys on the minimap to our right. Waiting for that heal to build up. It's kind of a strange kit for this map. Not his doing, though, as I assume. Let's take a look at what we got on the tabletop. I find this map becomes very much a two teams spinning circles around each other kind of map. So usually when I play it, I try to vary it up and pick where the teams are probably not going to be going to next. Or if I'm feeling defensive, I go right to that point where I think they're going next. Although it becomes somewhat hard to defend against, say, 20 people simultaneously. Especially with the nooks and crannies that this map allows. It becomes hard to channel people for the most part. Usually there's at least 3 pathways to any one direction on a map. And I just missed that guy. This thing is suppressed, so oh, we got the CS5 now. Apparently we're doing a switcheroos. Playing scavenger, perhaps? Taking a look around there, not seeing anything. Getting on the point. Right now is where I'd be asking myself where the enemy's at. Looks like Echo is currently being taken, and Bravo as well, so I'd probably be thinking that, even not being able to see exactly where they are at as I can in Spectator mode. We can see that we have one up above. Probably not going to nail this shot. Might get lucky, but no reason to take the shot. Especially when they're looking directly at you. We can see that, as I was saying, pretty much the entirety of the Chinese team is right here. And they're all sort of hanging out, taking pot shots at this. They're probably thinking more about what points I can take, especially when my team is down by 4 points to 1. Looks like we're finally getting a move on here. Checking that mini-map, don't see any activity right now. Looks like we have at least one teammate forging away. Usually you can get a fair idea of where teammates are going to encounter trouble. We see we have a couple enemies right here. Oh, Mare's leg. Oh, no. He manages to get a kill with it. More than I can say for most people. Oh, this thing is so bad. Literally just about anything is better than the Mare's leg, including possibly harsh language. I see a green laser over there. You're only telling them where you're at. You're taking fire perhaps from the right, it looks like. Not doing a really good job of covering yourself if that's the case. Friendly throws down the tugs, thankfully. Misses those shots. Does some decent burst fire with the Scar H, but doesn't manage to come up with anything. Ooh, kind of a weak peek right there, and manages to get taken out after taking one out himself. I think right there is where that tack light is doing him no favors whatsoever. It basically shines a light that says, I'm here, come and get me. That'd probably be the first thing I would ditch from this setup. Sees this guy right here, manages to take him out, gets a nice headshot. See at least one more up there in the hills. Looks like two now. There we go. We're looking downrange. So here's the other thing. A great grenade shot, by the way. Here's the other thing about the tac light is you can't scan the horizon without giving yourself away. Back up. We can see that there's, speaking of the Zerg, there's a little bit right there. This might be where you start thinking about, oh, maybe I want a silencer on this thing. Simply because there's so many. You're in such a good position to pick them off, but if one or two notice you, it's over. Because you're not going to be able to fight off 3 squads of people. So he decides to duck down a little bit here. I might play and wait for Marco to spawn on me, which is exactly what happens. Looks like we have an enemy on top of us. No, wait, that's Chinese. Never mind. Spectator is weird. Hold down a little bit too long there. Have the G18 get a little, excuse me, 93R. Have a little bit too much action on you right now and gets taken out. Back up again. Looks like we spawned on a squad mate, perhaps. Or maybe just spawned at sea and got lucky. Couple of friendlies around to back us up. Looks like we're going to manage to take the point here. Almost gets taken out there by another guy, and does manage to get taken out by his teammate. Alright, looking around, peeking. Peeking's a little bit harder when you have the light on, because you pretty much instantaneously give yourself away. See one enemy here. Misses that guy. This is again on the follow-up with the 93R. Not quite hitting it. Finally pulls out the Scar H and gets the business done. Taking a look around, we can see at least a few here. Takes one down, reloads, covers the reload, that's good. Get a couple more, and we're on a little bit of kill streak now. Thankfully the enemy team has not found us out yet. See one assault making a run for it. I might have chosen to run in behind him as opposed to trying to follow him this way. It looks like we caught somebody behind here, and I think he just ate a big bomb. See one over here to the right, gets cut out in the open and then shut down. So a good run there, got interrupted a little bit by the fact that he ran out into the open. Oh, again, that flashlight's just going to give you away constantly. And we have a couple of teammates coming up here to the left. Probably think about holding off pushing right here. Know that you're on the minimap now thanks to your teammate. Doesn't appear like we have any undesirable customers here. We saw at least one on the minimap here. Probably in the cubby to the left. I'd probably peek that first. Sure, we don't see anything. See a couple enemies here. We're wide out in the open, so if somebody comes up behind us, you're in trouble. There's one. And square off with this guy. Managed to get the headshot, thankfully. 1 health. Kinda risking it there. And gets taken out by the respawns. Back in business. Takes a little bit of extra damage. Didn't need to there. See 2 enemies. No, that's just 1. Catch one up in the rocks. Good catch there. Going for broke on this one. See another enemy here. Correctly chooses the hip fire. Gosh, the laser would be useful here. I would probably heal a lot more before rushing forward. If this guy was even so much as looking at you, he'd have been toast instantaneously, just like that. Back on the chopper again. Waiting perhaps for... Oh, wow. If that bomber had been on the mark, it could have gotten so many. Taking a look at the tabletop, what we got going on here. 100-point, about 100-point lead for the American team. Chinese team still has 3 of the 5 captures, so this might turn around for them. I'm making a choice to parachute in onto Echo. Pulls maybe a little bit too early. It'd probably be okay. Not sure what we're looking for here. Maybe we saw something that I'm not seeing. Doesn't appear to be anything here. You could probably go and protect Bravo. That point is moving slow enough. It's probably just a single individual soldier. Nope, thought I heard something, didn't quite. Playing a little bit safe. Walking slow. Oh, we'll see the guy right there. Managed to get him before he reprises. Perhaps that was the tac light. Perhaps it was the guy being slow. It's kind of hard to tell. Tac light's one of those devices where it's kind of hard to know one way or the other if it helped you. See that we have an enemy coming up here at the 6 o'clock. I'd probably turn around and wonder if he's coming through this door. Not quite. So he's still out there. Slow peeking it. I might actually try to fast peek this instead. Hop around the corner. Looks like we see one inside of there and he gets taken down. Oh, we actually brought out the paddles now. Looks like we learned from previous mistakes where we had a couple of dead friendlies around us and couldn't do anything about it. Still control majority of the map for the Chinese team, so we're in good shape. burned off about 40 tickets to that lead. We're going to manage to hold on to this. This game might turn around. Taking a look at the tabletop. Yep, looks like exactly what I said earlier is happening. You got most of the American team down there in the south. Looks like we did a good spot there. Probably jump in the bomber here and just to get a little bit of damage in since I know where most of their team is. Takes a shot there. Who knows from where? We can see it on the minimap now. Looks like they're up above. Ooh, need to find some cover. Second sniper round, no matter how poorly placed, will manage to kill you. Looks like he found some cover here. Taking some healing damage. Thank you, Spectator mode, for the weirdness. Now we've covered the shot. We're going to head back into Charlie, perhaps. Try to cover that a little bit. Nope, looks like the bomber. It looks like the enemy decided to jump in the bomber. I might actually wait here and try to take him out, but it looks like the point's being taken. This is not a super sly way to come into the point, but this guy isn't looking, so we're good. Looks like there's at least one more on this point. There he is. The way the flags move tells you a lot about what's going on the point. Doesn't quite get this guy resin time. Throws a healing kit to his buddy there who is running away from his own health kit. And the bomber's out, so you know that there's at least an enemy there. Kills one guy you can see on the minimap. He's going to get that second one. Nope, not paying attention to the minimap whatsoever. So we're going to keep on moving down to Alpha. No giveaways yet on the minimap. There's one right there. Let's see if you can manage to get him. Spots him before shooting them. That's okay tactic. I tend to do that a lot myself. Probably could have just shot him straight up. Looks like we're reversing the course of this and taking quite a bit of sniper fire there at the same time. A little bit of advice to the enemy that was shooting at him. You don't need to spam in DMR. You can just do a little bit slower than that. You probably would have come up with the kill. It's the full revive there. Good use of charged paddles. Not something everybody does, and everybody should be doing, by the way. See at least one enemy here on the minimap. Might get taken out by him. Not quite. Enemy missed his shots on both him and his teammate. Slow peeking this. Not seeing anything. Good time for a grenade. Good choice. Didn't hear the scream there. That's kind of different. Usually I like to use grenades to sort of get the soldier callouts from the enemies so I can hear if there's somebody there. Usually you get a scream out of the enemy if it's close enough to do damage to him. Apparently it wasn't in that case. You can see at least one enemy up there. Got taken care of. Taking a look at the minimap, we see one at about the 2 o'clock position. There's actually two over there. Kills at least one friendly. I might be worried about going straight to that spot again because you're probably just going to encounter the same thing that killed him, and here they come to ruin your day. Somehow manages to survive by the graces of all of his teammates coming around there. Good use of friendly as bait, I guess. Now that we have a squad rounded up, probably going to head on down to Echo. Actually, what's that called in this mode? Oh, that's the US spawn. So this is a small version of Conquest. Taking a look at the tabletop. Looks like the US is not going down without a fight. We've managed to even out the game, though, so this is still anybody's game. Looks like they got in the bomber there. Taking a look on the minimap, we saw that that guy was right there. Comes up with the kill. Good job holding the shots until we got there in time. Holds it down until his friends are dead. Looks like we missed one right there. I'd be really concerned about the number of enemies that are coming from that direction of the bomber. See at least two dead bodies on the minimap. There may be more coming. Oh, crews must have coming in. Look out. Kind of wish that showed on the actual map. Easier to avoid. Clearly some things are visible in Spectator that are not normally. Could use a burst fire. Doesn't quite come up with the kill in time. Again, good use of spotting for his teammates. You don't see a lot of people press the Q button. It's kind of unfortunate. That's the truth. Play scavenger a bit. Pick up what looks like an AEK. Got a little bit lucky to come up with the same thing. Yeah, we got an AEK, compensator, stubby grip. This is a pretty decent setup. It's probably pretty close to what I would run. That PKA, though, that I don't understand. It's like somebody that's not bothered by first shot recoil multiplier on a weapon. Seems like a very strange setup for this with that. I guess you can make it work. It is still a hollow. If it were any more than that, I might be wondering what somebody was thinking. Nothing quite yet. There were some enemies here. See two over there at the 11 o'clock. Looks like there's still a few more. I think I'd probably hop around the back there. No, it looks like we missed one. Going for the revive on a buddy. Didn't quite get it in time. Looks like somebody's cutting through his team like a hot knife through butter. Managed to kill one. Kills two. Did the other one get dead, or are we going to be in trouble here? It looks like we got the other guy. You can hear a sensor ball on the ground. It sounds like it's a friendly one. Or at least it looks like it is, because we saw the recon earlier. Take a look at the map and see what we got going on here. Oh, we got death. That's what's going on. So we got a res from a friendly there. Still rocking the AK setup. See a couple here on the minimap we could probably hunt down. Might not be in your best interest with the way the map is right now. Oh, see one guy here. Headshot unnecessary. See at least one driving in on the map. Surprised that this guy's not getting taken out by the gunner in a helicopter, but at the same time might be a bad gunner. Finally took him out. Alright, now actually looking at the map situation. The Americans in control of at least 3 of the points on the map. There's missed that guy. He's already taken out by teammates. Missed one here to the right, completely oblivious. A little bit too late on that one, soldier. Good job bursting it. Almost out of ammo on this guy. I probably have to play scavenger mode again. Gets a good spot in there. So good job spotting so far for sure. Good job bursting. Good job on the full paddles. Pretty much good job all around. Maybe work on the minimap awareness a little bit so far is what I'm noticing. And definitely consider not chasing down the hillbillies as opposed to pushing some more points perhaps. We've got a lot of enemies here. Probably play this a little bit slower. We got at least one friendly here that can help us out. Probably don't follow directly behind your teammate. That way if he gets taken out, you don't both get taken out at the same time. Gonna be in trouble here, it looks like. Probably heal up a little bit. Bandits the teammate, try to get a little bit of healing off. Gets the big bag out. I'd probably be working around this way as opposed to going up the same way as all my teammates. And it looks like we have officially run out of ammunition on the AAK, so we're going with the 93R again. Only a 20 revive on that. We don't know how much time was left, so... he's up. He's up. You can stop now. And not quite good enough to outrun the shotgun. Pack in the chopper again. Managed to take a little bit of incidental damage. Probably could have pulled back on the arrow keys a bit too, or excuse me, ASDW to try and get out of that a little bit easier. It's cut down by the responding enemy. Back out of the chopper. Let's see if we can manage to avoid a little bit of incidental damage this time. Don't manage to do that. I definitely hold back on that S key while you're coming out of a parachute. Try to avoid a little bit of that extra damage. Seem to be hitting the ground pretty hard. No need to. Easy shot right there. Probably overdoes it. Didn't need so much. Ooh, this is a really risky revive for that exact reason. So, in general, good job on the revives. Probably need to exercise a little bit more caution on them. If you see a dead body and you don't know what caused that dead body, I would not immediately assume to run to the dead body without checking the scene first and knowing that the coast was clear. Because if you run to the dead body, the chances are you're just going to join him if you do not check the scene first. Now, if the dead body is around a corner and you have perfect cover to go and revive him, then do so. But otherwise, be very cautious. And maybe being a little bit, trying to conserve a little bit of ammo here. Managed to slice the beacon in half. Sliced beacon. Taking a look, we can see that there's at least a squad coming from that direction. Switches to single fire, try to get a little bit more range in. Doesn't quite hit those shots. Now he's angered the enemy team. I would definitely throw down some healing here. We switched to the little bags, it looks like. I think we might have had those originally to begin with. We just happen to have the big bags because of the kit we picked up. The enemy's coming. Probably a bad time to throw a grenade. Almost got caught in the middle of that. Good job on choosing to hip fire there as opposed to aiming down sights. A little bit more healing in. Looks like we managed to catch that little kit. Taking a look on the map, we can see there's at least a squad up there, which probably means there's an entire other squad that we don't see quite yet. They know you're here because these two guys have been lighting up the minimap, so you have to play it a little bit cautious. Taking a look at what we got going on here. We got 2 squads in here now, so coast is probably clear. I'd worry about respawns behind me and possibly to the north over there. Might want to turn around, pick up this MGL, probably the best course of action right now. Chooses not to pick up the MGL. The MGL is actually okay. I find that I can slaughter a lot of respawning defenders using that thing. Particularly if I happen to have an ammo perk or something that's going to give me a little bit more out of that thing. Not sure what we're running right now. Actually, the ammo perk doesn't do that. I think it's the grenade perk that does that. You can see that there's a couple enemies coming up this way. Now would be a good time to flank them. Managed to catch that guy right there. Maybe we can get 2 more. Gets caught by the respawning defenders coming from Alpha. Right now it looks like the Chinese team wasn't able to hold on to that sort of evening out. Catches this guy here, maybe a little bit too late. Probably didn't need to spot him there in that case. Probably could have saved a friendly. Misses those shots, misses this one. Maybe a little bit too motion while you're shooting. You're covered right now so you can stay planted. You don't need to continue moving while shooting. In this case, looks like we're about to catch somebody here, and not quite. This is a better revive. Check that it's safe first and then get the revive off. Throws a little health kit out. So taking a look at the map, what we got going on here. Yeah, the Americans are pretty much in charge of this map. The Chinese team has been making the error of having too many people clumped up at one point at any given time. That's really the problem the teams run into a lot of times. Here, let's see if we catch this guy. Didn't need to spot there. Probably could have shaved those seconds off. You knew that that was an enemy coming up because you didn't see him on the minimap. Nope, nothing over there. And that was a motorcycle we saw. Looks like a latent claymore is on the ground. Wild Claymore has appeared. Nobody here. This is a son of a bitch point to take again because of all the way the defenders work on this point as they spawn on the periphery pretty much all around it, so it's really difficult to take this point without a squad. We do have a squad, but we're all pointed in the same direction, which is going to be plausibly dangerous, especially if they spawn on the other side as well. So, rushing out into the open probably wouldn't be my first choice. I might try to stick to the point and capture it and then go and chase down the defenders on the hill, particularly if they're up there. Looks like we're making that choice right now. I might spend a little more time looking behind those rocks just to make sure nobody was there and going to shoot me in the back. We don't have a whole lot of time left on this game, though, so try to get to the points as fast as possible. Probably not going to turn it around at this point, given that we have to make up 120 tickets of difference, and we only have 80 ourselves. So unless we get a full cap, it's pretty much going to be the Americans' game. Looking around here, we can see that there are no friendlies to help us, so the second we start moving this flag, we can expect respawning defenders, which are going to be kind of difficult to take out again without a squad to help back us up. And the question you got to ask yourself is, where did that shot come from, or was that simply incidental? And there's where the shot came from. We managed to catch him with a headshot. Good job. Looking around on the minimap, we don't see any evidence of life just yet, but we can pretty much bet that they're going to be coming. Sounds like we have, yep, at least one defender coming along. I might be worried about we're all facing the same direction here. You definitely want to be attentive to where your own teammates are. You can see that that guy's up there. Just missed the shot on that one. I'd probably expect him to peek the other point now. I guess he's going for the suppression shot. This is where I'd probably follow this clutter up to the point and try to come around that mountain. I would highly suspect that he's still up there. I probably would not be making this play right now. Looks like teammates gone to chase that down. Plausibly killed? Don't know. I missed it if it happened. Nice straw shot from the teammate there. There's the other problem with the straw is if you do manage to hit somebody or a helicopter with that, all you do is manage to pop the balloon and send all the guys flying outside of it, which can be a problem, especially if you're alone. Thankfully, we're in a squad here with only about 60 tickets remaining. We managed to close the gap a little bit. I still don't think, even if we hold 3 out of 2 or 3 out of 5 points, that we're going to be able to hold this map. Taking a look at what we got going on the tabletop. Whoa, yeah, that center point is all stuffed up right now, but you wouldn't be able to tell from here. You can only see the stream of dead bodies, so you know there's at least some enemy attention here. I'd really consider trying to grab that MGL I can see on the minimap. Might give you a little bit of an edge here, particularly against this group of masses. Catches a guy with a grenade there, Hail Mary grenade. You can see that there's at least 2 squads converging here. Takes one out. I would really love to see a laser sight on this. Doesn't quite manage to catch that guy. Now we have no cover to run back to. We managed to get here, thankfully. Gets covered by a sacrificial teammate. That guy doesn't know you're here. That guy now knows that you're there, and the rest of the team is about to know you're there, and they put you in an early grave. So right now we're either waiting for the team to come back on tickets and carefully spawning, but I don't think you're not going to make up 100 tickets of difference by not spawning. So here we are. Getting some last kicks in. Throws a grenade in there. Didn't hear anything. The enemy knows you're here now. I probably fast peeked this. There we go. Probably should have aimed down sights when coming out of that as opposed to waiting for it. So Bopper had a good number of habits that he did well. He followed up on enemies, made sure to spot, gave full revives, and generally pushed the objective. Some things to work on might be stopping when shooting from safety, getting rid of that tack light, and not spotting before shooting obvious enemies that are in close quarters. I find that the extra time spent spotting enemies prevents your soldier from drawing the weapon to aim, which can sometimes be fatal. Instead, focus on spotting the targets that are not immediately threatening you. That's it for this episode of Over Your Shoulder. If you'd like a chance of being featured in a future episode, be sure to contact me in one of the ways I list in the description below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, YouTube.